day of the second regular session of the 20th Congress will now come to order. May we all stand for a moment of silent prayer. Chief Clerk, roll call.
Senator Alec, Senator Aritos, Senator Figuer, Senator Coland, Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conlon, Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Panuelo, Senator Perman, Senator Romlo, Senator Orsno, and Senator Wale. Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members are present.
We have quorum to transact business this morning. Acting Floor Leader.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Speaker, and thank you very much. I move that the reading of the journal be suspended.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of our journal. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of our journal. Chief Clerk, next item.
Mr. Speaker, item 5, presidential communications. We're in receipt of numbers 20-101 through 20-103.
Chief Clerk, assign those communications. Next item.
Item 6, have some Supreme Court communications. There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Continue on.
Item 7, member communications, none. Item 8, departmental communications, there are none. Item 9, agency or governmental authority communications, none. Item 10, state communications, there are none. Item 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item 12, municipal or town communications, there are none. Item 13, foreign government communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, order of the day. Item 14,
standing committee reports, there are none.
Short recess. So when do we expect? Congress is back in session. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Item 15, special committee reports, there are none.
Next item.
Item 16, assignment of measures and communications. We have a referral sheet number 20-24.
Chairman and members, the respective committees take a look at the referral sheet for your planning purposes. Next item.
Item 17, unfinished business, none, Mr. Speaker. Item 18, bill calendar. Mr. Speaker, the first bill on the bill calendar is CB number 2020-58 for second reading. CB number 20-58. It's a bill for an act to further amend Title II of the Code of the Federated States of Micronesia as amended, or as annotated, as amended by amending Section 203, Sections 203 and 204 thereof, to dissolve the Office of Environment and Emergency Management, Climate Change and Emergency Management, to empower the President of the Federated States of Micronesia to transition the functions of the dissolved office and for other purposes.
Chairman Romulo.
Motion to pass CB number 20-58 on a second and final reading.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-58. Discussion. Chairman Ursula, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I know that last Saturday when we talked about this bill, we discussed it at length as to that the amendment, paragraph C. I just wonder, I thought there was an attempt to amend. I don't know what the status of that is, but may I call for a short recess?
Short recess, subject to call of the chair. Congress back in session. Chairman Romero, you have the floor.
Motion to defer action on 2058 to end of the bill calendar.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that CP number 20-58 be deferred to the end of the bill calendar.
Speaker,
Those in favor of the motion, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. That bill is now deferred to the end of our bill calendar today.
Speaker,
Chairman
point of
Panuelo.
privilege.
State your point, Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, I want to introduce an individual here on our behalf. Our Speaker of Colonedan was here, but he left. I was going to introduce him, but another individual who's here, I briefly met. Can we, on our behalf, I want to introduce former State Senator Tony Puluwai, now Director of Youth Affairs with the state of Chuk. And we give him a round of recognition, please. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Panuelo, for introducing someone's constituent. Any other point of privilege? If none, next bill, Chief Clerk.
So, Speaker, we have CP number 20-71 CD1 for second reading. CP number 20-71 CD1. It's a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 20-31 by amending sections 1 and 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Yap and Chuk states and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
So move.
It's been moved weekly that Congress pass CB number 2071 CD1 on second and final reading. Discussion.
Speaker.
Senator Net, you have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I have a lengthy floor amendment that has been distributed. I so move for its adoption.
It's moved and seconded that the offered for amendments to CP number 20-71 offered by Senator Net be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. It's been distributed in writing. And Acting Floor, you have any motion to make?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that the relevant rules, especially the substantive amendment on second reading, be suspended.
Any second? It's moved and seconded that the relevant rules that might impede our action on this offered for amendment, specifically the rule prohibiting substantive amendment on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. The relevant rules are suspended. We're on discussion of the offered for amendments by Senator Net. Any discussion? Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed. So let's vote on its adoption. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered for amendment to CB 20-71 CD1, say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendments by Senator Net to 20-71 CD1 are adopted. We now have CD2. Any further discussion on CD2? Chairman Alik.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. Likewise, I also have a lengthy floor amendment to CP number 20-71, and I move for its adoption.
It's moved and seconded that the offer for amendments to CP number 20-71 CD2 by Senator Alik be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Any discussion on the offer for amendments? Questions being called for? There's no objection. Debate is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendments to CP number 20-71 CD2 by Senator Alik, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offer for amendments by Senator Alik are adopted. We now have CD3. Any further discussion on CD3? If none, short recess. You're all set, huh? Congress is back in session. Chairman Ursimal, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I have some very small oral amendments that I wish to make
Proceed.
on the bill. Page 1, line 15, after the word rental, insert a comma, and line 16, delete the word FOR, for, and insert nothing. I mean, don't insert nothing, just line 15, insert a comma after rental, and delete the word for. I so move.
Okay, any second? It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimal be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Any discussion on these oral amendments? Do you have anything, Chairman Fakir, to add? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? If none, if there's no objection, debate is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of Chairman Ursimal's offered oral amendments, say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimal are adopted. We now have CD4. Any further discussion on CD4? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed on CD4. Let's vote by roll call of delegations. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aristos. State of Pohnpei, Chairman Panuelo.
Amen.
State of Koshai, Chairman Wali. State of Yap, Chairman Rusmal. Mr. Speaker, all the four states for the floor.
CP number 20-71 CD4 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill,
Mr. Speaker, we have CP number 20-72 for second reading. CP number is 20-72. It's a bill for an act to appropriate the sum of $300,000 from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2017, for the purpose of humanitarian relief efforts for victims of hurricanes Harvey and Irma, and of the Chiapas earthquake in Mexico, in the United States, Cuba, Mexico, Antigua, and Barbuda, and for other purposes.
Chairman Fakir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Congress pass Congress Bill 20-72 on second and final reading.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress passed on second and final reading CP number 20-72. Discussion.
Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Fakir,
I have an oral amendment.
proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the title page, delete the figure 300 and insert 350,000 in lieu thereof. In the same title page, line 2 from the bottom, delete the phrase "in Mexico" and in line 11, delete the figure 30 and insert 50,000, and line 12, letter D, delete the figure 20,000 and insert 50,000 in lieu thereof. I so move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Fakir be adopted. Short recess. 50. All right. Congress back in session. We're still on the offered oral amendments by Chairman Fakir. Any further discussion on that?
Mr. Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Ursula. We're discussing the oral amendments. It's already seconded.
including the amendment on line 1, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, that's the technical part of it that we just added.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I have an oral amendment that I wish to make on the oral amendment offered by Chairman Fakir.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the title, after the word Irma, insert in the United States, comma, Cuba, comma, Antigua and Barbuda, comma, and of the Chiapas earthquake in Mexico, comma, and so on. So move.
It's moved and seconded that we adopt the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimo to the offered oral amendment by Chairman Fakir. Discussion?
Speaker,
Yes, Chairman Ursimo?
I also, on line 5, to make the same amendments.
Okay. so
After Irma, insert into United States, comma, Cuba, comma, Antigua and Barbuda, comma, and of the Chiapas earthquake in Mexico. So move.
Okay. The same proposed amendments to the title will be reflected in Title 5 down to 7, line 7. Any discussion? There is no discussion. Let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments to the oral amendments by Chairman Fakir say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimo are adopted. We're now still on the discussion of the oral amendments by Chairman Fakir as amended by Chairman Ursimo. Any further discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed, so let's vote. Those in favor of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Fakir as amended by Chairman Ursimo say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Those amendments are adopted. We now have CD1. Any further discussion on CD1? If none, there is no objection. Debate is closed. So let's vote by roll call of delegations on CD1. Chief Clerk.
State of Chuk, Chairman Aritos. State of Bombay, Chairman Benuelo.
Am I?
State of Koshai, Chairman Willie. State of Yap, Chairman Ursmal. Mr. Speaker, all the 4 states voted in favor.
For that reason, CB number 20-72, CD1 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, we have CB number 20-58 for second reading, which was deferred to the end of bill calendar.
Okay. Chairman Romulo.
Motion to pass CB number 20-58 and on second and final reading.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading CB number 20-58. Discussion.
Question.
Speaker.
Chairman Ursimo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm championing oral amendments. I have oral amendments that I wish to make on the bill.
Okay, offer your amendments, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On page 2, line 18, after the word management, insert the following, comma, insert a comma and the phrase, provided that the appointment of the new secretary is still subject to advice and consent by Congress. Period. So move.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursimal be adopted. Let the record reflect that the relevant rules are still suspended, specifically that one prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading. Any discussion on the offered oral amendments?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Vice Speaker Moses, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When the bill was first introduced by was introduced on the floor previous to the executive submission, one of the concerns that we had was the transitioning of the office, and there was concern that the president might not appoint the same individual that we confirmed for the executive director position. And there was requests at the time and the time leading up till now that we try our best to have a transition from the executive director to the secretary position for one-time transition period. That's no longer a concern?
Chairman Romolo.
Thank you, Speaker and Chairman, Vice Speaker Moses. Yes, it is still a concern, but we also be mindful that it's the prerogative of the president to nominate the secretary positions. But the concerns that we want to transitioning the executive director who have been confirmed by Congress with that position as the executive director. So the wishes of Congress that it's to transitioning him or the individual to the secretary positions, but we also want to give President that prerogative that he have to appoint. So I think the amendment that we offered by Ursimal will still in line with that, the concerns that we have, that we have confirmed this individual, but yet we also give President as he had his prerogative to appoint. But I think it's clear that our position is to confirm, but we don't want to take that from President. And I believe there was an attempt, an amendment to kind of tie President's hand to appoint the same individual. So, and that was the reason why it was not went through that amendment, because we want to give him that prerogative as a President to appoint. But I think the floor amendment now, it also clear that we also have that Congress still have that it will be sent to us for consent. So I believe we have addressed the issues that will also protect the Congress power or authority to confirm the secretary, and also given that the President also have his prerogative. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. Is that clear enough? At least the two takeaways we can get from this, that first, we cannot do anything about the President's constitutional authority to appoint, but this amendment offered by Chairman Ursimal is simply to restate what we know, that any appointment will be submitted to the Congress for its advice and consent. Am I correct?
Mr. Speaker.
That is correct, Mr. Speaker, and also to safeguard the power of the Congress, a constitutional authority of the Congress to advise and consent on any principal nominations, only nominations to principal positions of the government. Our hope and our wish and our prayer is that the individual in question or in discussion will be appointed per the experience that experiences that he has obtained during the many years that he's been in the office. But we, as indicated by the chairman of the committee, I think we respect the president and we respect ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Ursimal. Short recess. Congress back in session. We're still on discussion of the CP number 20-58 CT1.
Speaker,
Yes,
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Because of your concern, I have some more oral amendments that I wish to make on the bill as amended.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the Title 9.4, after management, comma, delete the phrase climate change and emergency management, comma. On page 291, delete the phrase delete the comma, delete the page 1 in the title. Okay, already finished. Page 2, line 1, delete the phrase, delete the comma after environment and the phrase climate change, comma, on page 3, delete paragraph 2 in its entirety and renumber paragraph 3 as number 2, paragraph 2, and paragraph 4 as paragraph 3. I so move.
It's moved and seconded that the offered oral amendments by Chairman Ursmol be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. Discussion, short recess. Congress back in session. We're still on discussion of the offered oral amendments by Chairman Roosevelt. Chairman Romulo, you have any discussion?
Wish to defer the floor amendment offered by Chairman Rosenbaum to Monday.
It's
And the
moved and-
bill and CB number 20-58. So moved.
It's moved and seconded that the entire thing be deferred to tomorrow's session. Those in favor say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The whole thing is deferred to tomorrow's session. Next bill, Chief Clerk.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
Yes. Vice Speaker.
thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to withdraw and place CB number 20-74 for today's calendar.
Short recess. Congress back in session. There's a motion to withdraw and place CB number 20-74 on the bill calendar for action. Any second?
Second.
So it's moved and seconded that CB number 20-74 be withdrawn and placed on the bill calendar for action. Any relevant rules that might impede our action are suspended still up to this point. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. CB number 20-74 is now withdrawn and placed on the bill calendar for action. Chairman Figueroa.
I move for the passage of the said bill on first reading.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CB number 20-74. Discussion. Any discussion? Short recess. Thank you. I guess that's the concern we kind of, but I believe our understanding is that all of this are, it's only 2 weeks away from fiscal year 18, so we will address those. And each of those committees that have concern with the request by President should take a look at those and make recommendations within our FY18 budget process. Okay? So we can go back now and see what to do with this. Congress back session. We're still in discussion of CP number 20-74. Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. So Chief Clerk, roll call of members.
Senator Alick, Senator Aritos, Senator Figueroa, Senator Coland,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman, Senator Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Penuelo,
Aye.
Senator Perman, Senator Romlo, Senator Ursmal, Senator Wally, Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, 13 members, 4 to 4.
For that reason, CB number 20-74 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
There are none, Mr. Speaker.
Any further bill to be withdrawn? If none, next item. Chief Clerk.
Mr. Speaker, on item 19, resolution calendar, we have one resolution, CR number 20-31, which is a resolution expressing the sincere sadness and condolences to the family of the Honorable Tony DeBroom and to the government and citizens of the Republic of the Marshall Islands at his passing on August 22, 2017.
Floor Leader Ursimo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of the said resolution.
It's moved and seconded that Congress adopt resolution number 20-31. Discussion.
Mr. Speaker, I hope that your office would instruct our people to purchase ink for our duplicating machine. But I have some proposed amendments to the resolution which have been printed and duplicated and distributed to all the members. So I move for the adoption of the proposed floor amendments.
It's moved and seconded that the offered for amendment to CR number 20-31 be adopted as offered by Senator Ursimo. The relevant rules, if any, that would impede our actions are still suspended. Any discussion? Oh, because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. It's been written up, distributed to members. Discussion. Short recess. Is back in session. We're still on discussion of Resolution 20-31. Acting floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I move that this resolution be deferred to tomorrow and tomorrow.
It's moved and seconded that Resolution 20-31 be deferred to tomorrow. Those in favor say yes. Votes no. Motion carried. It's not deferred to tomorrow. Any other resolution? If none, there's no objection. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the next item is item 20, introduction of bills and resolutions.
If you have any motion to introduce, please pass them on to Chief Clerk for introduction. Next item.
The next item is miscellaneous communications. There are no communications, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
Item 22, miscellaneous business.
Do you have any miscellaneous business? Not the kind that
Speaker.
former Chairman Neton used to offer, but
Move
real
forward.
miscellaneous business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, go ahead, Chairman Wally.
Thank you. We went through a lot of oral amendments and regarding these bills and resolutions. Maybe we should give proofreaders more time to review these things so it doesn't take our time up in the chamber. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Wally. That has been a major concern for us in our areas of responsibilities, and we will continue to work to improve. And we've made it clear that that will be part of the ongoing training and for our, not just legal staff, but the proofreaders, most of the things. So
Yes, Speaker.
we're hoping to get that up and
Yeah.
yes, Chairman.
Thank you, Speaker.
Do
To
have
associate
miscellaneous?
myself with Chairman of EXAF, it's the same thing with when we differ. You know, differ to tomorrow, and then when we come back, it's the same thing. Nothing's been done. So I both chairmans when we differ and our legal staff to work on it. So when we come back, because it shows like today, another delay. We'll be deferring out the same bills again, or resolutions. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman
short
Berman.
recess.
Yes,
Short recess.
short recess. Congress back in session. We're still on miscellaneous business. Do you still have any miscellaneous business? If none, let's go to announcements. Chairman Woolley.
Thank you, Speaker. No announcement.
Thank you. Chairman Fakir.
Ways and Means markup today at 4 o'clock, all the way until we finish. So be prepared to have your lunch and dinner.
Thank you. Take note, members of Ways and Means Committee. Chairman Berman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two announcements. One is your Committee on HSA is providing lunch today.
Thank you.
And the other one, we will have our hearing at 1 o'clock with the department to finish up, Department of Health. 2 o'clock it's archives, and 3 o'clock is MyCare. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman Berman. Take note, members of HSA. Chairman Romulo.
Chianco executive meeting markup on Tuesday, 2 o'clock to 4.
Thank you, Chairman Romulo. Take note, members of Chianco Committee. Chairman Panuelo.
Speaker, thank you. Tomorrow at 12 to 2 o'clock, we will continue the budget hearing with the Department of R&D, and then we go into executive. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Chairman Panuelo. Chairman Coonan.
Thank you. Member of TNC, we have a oversight tomorrow, and also after the oversight we'll do a markup and markdown. After the markup and markdown, we have a party at Cubics, and maybe about 7 p.m. Tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Coonan, for the enticement to members of your committee. Take note, members. Chairman Education.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Education will begin its review of the 5 speakers grant for the ATV grant beginning 1:30 Wednesday afternoon in the hearing room.
Thank you, Chairman Ursumal. Take note, members of Education Committee, of that hearing on Wednesday. Vice Speaker Moses, you have any announcement? Senator Ned. Chairman, climate change, I always forget about you. Thank you, my apologies. Senator Aridus? Senator Coleman? Thank you very much. Okay, Acting Floor Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As agreed to during recess, I move that this Congress stands in recess until 10 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So move.
It's moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until 10 a.m. on Wednesday, the 20th. Those in favor of the motion say yes. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until Wednesday, 10 a.m., September 20th.